Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Class Terrorsaur from the Transformers Kingdom Golden Disc Collection from Hasbro. So these were a shared exclusive, mostly Amazon, but of course Hasbro Pulse had them as well. And I missed the pre-order on Amazon, so I ordered mine on Hasbro Pulse, which is why it has taken so long for it to get here. But it is finally here, so I'm very excited to finally get the last of the 4 Golden Disc Collection releases. And really just excited to get Terrorsaur in general. I mean, he was a main character in the first season of the show, so definitely expected to see him in Kingdom, and he's only part of this random exclusive line for Amazon, so that's a little weird to me. Still haven't even seen Tarantulas, so I think he's coming in Legacy, but I'm not sure why it's taken them so long to get through the Season 1 characters for Beast Wars. But anyway, here is the packaging, very similar to the other 4, has a fourth of the Golden Disc. When you put all 4 boxes together, you'll be able to make the Golden Disc, which is pretty cool. You can kind of see the Golden Disc carry over to this side and a little bit on the bottom there. And then here on the back we have the robot mode and of course the pterodactyl mode. Pterodactyl? I don't know, it's a flying dinosaur. In any case, let's get him out of the box and let's take a closer look. So here is Terrorsaur out of the packaging and he looks pretty great. You can probably tell right away that he is based off of the Airazor mold. He transforms pretty much exactly the same way. Obviously, he's got some heavy retooling. The tail's different, the wings are different, the head is different. The chest plate here is very different. But for the most part, it is pretty much the same mold. But it looks good. I think they did a really nice job. The dinosaur head looks fantastic. Really nice eyes there. The paint applications are good. The beak with the teeth look good. You can see the mouth opens and closes, which is nice. Head can turn side to side. You do have quite a bit of functionality here in the wings, so you can kind of put them all the way out to the side if you want and open them up. So these kind of open and close pretty far. You have a hinge here, kind of a double hinge there for the wings, so if you want to kind of fold them up and keep them close to the body, you can. You can have them spread all the way out, and you'll see that come into play more in the robot mode. Not too much going on in the legs. You can kind of, it's basically the same as what the robot legs will be with the exception of this extra hinge here. So you have a hinge up here, you have this hinge here, you have a ball joint for the foot. You can see that the gun can store here on the side. It just pegs into this little peg slot right there, and there's a peg on each side of the gun, as you can see. And this appears to be kind of gunmetal gray painted over top of red. I'm not sure why they left the tip red. I understand why they left the handle, because usually they don't want the paint to come off on the robot's hands, but not really sure why they left the tip red. But either way, it looks pretty good. I don't have a problem with that. Now, the other big accessory that he comes with is the golden disc, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know why only one of the 4 has a golden disc. I mean, I don't need 4 golden discs, because there were 2 different ones on the show. So they could have included one with somebody else that was the other one. You can see on the back here it says The Sounds of Earth and kind of looks like a record. So it's a cool little accessory. I'm glad they gave it to us. It's nice to have. It's not super gold, though. It's kind of more of like a bronze. It just kind of looks like a coin. But for the most part, it's pretty nice, and I'm glad to have it for the collection. So just real quick, I wanted to bring in... I don't have Airazor, but I have Skywarp, which is the exact same mold. So you can see how similar they are. But of course, the legs were a little... the legs actually I think are exactly the same. I was going to say they're remolded. I think they're just painted differently. Obviously, the feet are different. And you can see the chest plate. This one has one. This guy doesn't really. The arms go in the same way. You can see the wings are different. Obviously, the animal heads are different. But very, very similar in terms of the actual mold. Alright, so getting into the transformation, he transforms pretty much exactly the same way that Airazor / Skywarp does. You're going to spin the head around 180 degrees. You're going to unhook the legs by folding them down to the side. And then you're going to kind of spin this down and extend them out fully. And then you're going to rotate them at the thigh swivel. And then you can kind of straighten out the legs at the shin. And then rotate the feet around 180 degrees. You're going to come to this section and lift up the tail. That will allow you to spin the waist around 180 degrees. And then you can pop the tail back down into place. You're going to pop out the arms here from the sides, straighten them out, and then rotate them 90 degrees. Then you're going to open up this back section here and kind of flip out the head like so. There we go. And then you're going to take this hinge here and kind of rock it down into place. And then you can close this back up. And I believe this head rotates down like so. And then you can click this back into place. And I believe this is supposed to peg into place down here. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, there we go. Then you can take the wings and you can accordion them in. You can see the little peg hole here. So this is going to fold up like so. And then that will peg in there. And then this will fold again. So bring this in. Peg that in, and then you can fold that back down. And there you go. There is Terrorsaur in robot mode. Like I said, transforms pretty much identically to Airazor, but he looks good. If you want, you can kind of put the wings all the way in. You can kind of put them out to the side, whatever you prefer. But he looks good. I really like the head sculpt. I think they did a really nice job with that. I wish you could see the eyes a little better. I mean, they're a nice yellow color. And it's probably just shadow, but kind of the head crest casts a little bit of shadow, so it's a little hard to see. But otherwise, I think the head sculpt looks good. The chest plate here looks good. Some nice silver paint here on the arms. These little pieces come loose. Actually, they come wrapped in a tiny little paper bag in the packaging, so make sure you don't throw those out by accident. And they just peg into the little spots on the forearms. But yeah, he really looks good. I think they did a nice job. For something that started out as a hawk, I think they were able to turn it into a dinosaur pretty well. Take the gun that he comes with and peg it into his hand. And of course you can peg it into the side just like in the dino mode. So if you want him to kind of holster it on his arm, on his thigh here, you can do so. There we go. And that's kind of cool. I like that. I like that he has a little kind of like a Wild West holster there. I like the look of that. Now there is another spot you can, and the wings, I'll be honest, the wings do pop off a fair amount. I don't really know why. But you can always pop them right back on. But there is another spot here if you want to peg the weapon like kind of in this little section here to hide it, you can. I kind of like the thigh holster. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So yeah, I think he works really well. Honestly, like I said, for something that was just about the only other flying animal that they had in Kingdom, they were able to turn it from a hawk to a dinosaur pretty well. And I think he works. I think he looks good. I definitely think this should have been part of the main line, because like I said, he is a main character. Now, to be fair, spoilers, he doesn't make it past Season 1. But I definitely still think he should have been in the main line. But happy to finally get him, one way or the other. The head can turn from side to side. It's on a ball joint. You have a little bit up, not really too much down. You can kind of tilt that back because there's kind of another joint in there at the shoulder that will move this whole plate, obviously, for when you turn it into the torso. So you can use that a little bit, but it's mostly just side to side movement. You have a hinge and a swivel here in the shoulder. Bicep swivel, 90 degrees, doesn't bend backwards at all. You do have that extra joint there in the middle of the forearm, but that's really more for transformation, and it's not really meant for robot mode. Nothing in the wrist, because that's one solid piece. You do have a waist swivel, but it's a little bit impeded by the tail. Now, you could lift the tail up if you need to make a pose where that swivels around a little bit more, so you do have that option. You have a hinge out to the side, kick pretty far forward, pretty decently back. You have a thigh swivel there, kind of right above the knee. I would say way over 90 degrees there in the knee. And then, of course, you have the ball joint in the ankle. And again, you have that shin bend. But again, that's for transformation. Doesn't really look natural for the robot mode. But I guess if you wanted to pull off some kind of pose like that, you could. But yeah, he looks good. I like him a lot. I'm very happy to finally have him. Because like I said, he's something that I feel like has been missing from the collection for quite some time. And they're pretty successful with him. I like him a lot. It would have been nice if they had some way to like really hide the wing. I mean, I guess technically I could just take the wings off because they do just drop off of the drop of a hat there. But yeah, so you could do something like that if you want them to have a little bit more cartoon look, where because in the cartoon the wings were not really visible at all. So you could do something like that. I kind of wish these stayed on a little bit more, but what are you going to do? For the most part, he looks good. I'm pretty happy with him. I really like Terrorsaur a lot. I wish I had gotten him a lot sooner, because like I said, he is a main Season 1 character, so I kind of wish he was part of the main line, but finally have him. I do like that he comes with a golden disc. I think that's really cool. I do think it's a little weird that out of all 4 of the golden disc collection releases, only one of them actually has a golden disc. I don't really need all of them to have one, but there was another golden disc on the show, so that would have been neat, but still happy to get the one we got. But anyway, getting back to Terrorsaur, like I said, for someone that was made out of the mold of a hawk, I think they did a pretty good job transforming him into a dinosaur. They did some really nice remolding for the wings, the dino head, the chest plate, all that really works. I think he looks really solid. The wings fall off a little bit easier than I would like, but you can always snap them back on, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, overall, I like him. I think he's got good posability. I think he's got good paint applications. Now, yes, he is mostly red, but he's got a decent amount of silver to break it up. And that's kind of what he was like on the show as well. Although on the show, he probably had a little bit more silver. But for the most part, I like him a lot. I think they did a really nice job, and very, very happy to finally have Terrorsaur for the collection. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.